crazy news, MCU fans. Ryan Coogler just signed a massive contract with Disney and is said to be developing a Wakanda streaming television show for Disney+. This is dope, but may also hint to some of the plans Marvel might have for Black Panther 2 and just in general, Wakanda in the MCU. What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel. Smash that like button. I did want to remind you that a large part of what we are doing with the Den of Nerds is happening over on our live streaming channel. Like, did you know that we live stream over there Monday through Friday starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time?
What?
Okay, now this story broke in the Hollywood trades late last night. Deadline is reporting that Ryan Coogler has signed a massive 5-year deal with his television production company, Proximity Media. Now, Deadline reports that he is developing a bunch of television for the studio, and the first series will be a delight to Black Panther fans, a drama based in the Kingdom of Wakanda for Disney+.
Very nice.
Okay, so in and of itself, super cool. A lot to get in here, but, let's just kind of say what the actual report is again. So the official report is that Ryan Coogler, who of course is the director of Black Panther, awesome dude, directed Creed, really talented director. His television company, which by the way, Ludwig Göransson is a part of his television company. I just think that's awesome. But yeah, Coogler's television company has signed a big deal to develop television for Disney. It's a big 5-year deal. Awesome. Looks like Coogler and that company got a bag. Good for them, and also good for us as fans. This is probably going to be some awesome television. I mean, Coogler's really good at what he does.
Thanks.
Now, of course, a lot of this deal and the negotiations for this and just why this is valuable is all predicated on the Black Panther movie, which was a cultural phenomenon, as they mention in Deadline's article and has been talked about at great length by so many different people around the internet. Black Panther was a phenomenon of a film. It was a good movie. It was I actually think a really good movie. I like it nowadays more than I even did when I watched it in theaters. But regardless, a good movie, but certainly a significant cultural moment. I don't think you can deny that. And so it's good for Coogler. It's good for Disney to sign this sort of a deal to sort of continue that success that partnership created. The only, obvious problem here, it is a problem, but it's a tragedy. This is nobody's fault, but it is, of course, the passing of Chadwick Boseman, who was the actor that played Black Panther. Of course, this shocked everybody, and sort of an extra thread of just strangeness with the story is the fact that Marvel Studios and even Ryan Coogler himself were not aware of the disease that Chad had and the struggle that he was facing in his own personal life, as Chadwick had personally chosen to keep that struggle to himself and just continue to work on his craft. But, before we get way too far in the weeds, let's first talk about the show itself. I'll sort of speculate on what I would like to see in the show, and then I want to talk about why this announcement in this deal with Ryan should be a really good sign for Black Panther fans and fans of the Black Panther movie, as this indicates that Disney is truly committed to Wakanda and to the people of Wakanda playing a massive role moving forward in the MCU, which is great.
Wakanda forever!
Now, there are all sorts of ways this show could go. Drama really doesn't tell us much. Developing in Wakanda doesn't tell us much, but we sort of peripherally have some evidence of ways this show could go just based on how the other television shows for Disney Plus are currently being developed and what the overall macro plan seems to be for Marvel Studios. As it stands right now, the only Marvel show out really is WandaVision, but we do know that WandaVision is seemingly setting up a lot of threads that will carry over into the Loki show, into further movies in the MCU, but also into other Disney Plus shows. This all has to do with the multiverse breaking, but especially about the world itself coping in a post-blip world. We saw our first little hint of this in WandaVision episode 4, and a lot of insiders and scoopers indicated that little scene of Monica getting blipped back in the hospital and the whole perspective of Marvel characters coming back into this very weird world that is post-snap and blip, that is going to be heavily focused on in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It is going to be focused on in just the MCU in general. And Wakanda being a big force, a very powerful nation, it is likely that this show will deal with a lot of these same elements. The twist with Wakanda will, of course, be that in the example of Wakanda, Wakanda will likely be looked at and called to help and to give aid to all the rest of the world. Wakanda just happens to be probably the most powerful and wealthy superpower on the planet, and now they've come out and revealed themselves to the world, and then the snap and the blip happen. So there might be this crazy sort of expectation on the Wakandan people to try to help out the rest of the planet. Now, what's interesting about this is it's also possible that Wakanda is facing kind of insularity challenges. Maybe not everybody in the nation of Wakanda thinks it's their responsibility to redistribute all of their wealth and military to the rest of the world. Perhaps Wakanda doesn't necessarily want to just help everybody else out, and in this crazy post-blip world, they want to take care of themselves first. And if this sounds sort of weird, but also maybe familiar to the American struggle, I think it actually could be. And I think one of the very interesting things about Wakanda is, although it is completely fictional, in some ways, it is an interesting artistic statement for a creator to take a black sort of previously Zionistic state that has now come into the world and put them in this type of a situation, and then try to show how a country or a nation or a power like that would actually face these real struggles. And that is not to say that Wakanda should just be this glowing thing on the hill that does everything perfectly. No, far from that. I think that nation should struggle. The people of Wakanda should struggle. They have incredible power, but they're not sure how to use it. This all seems perfectly human, perfectly interesting, and dope as hell for a show.
For real?
Now, there's one other thing that they could do in the show, and I got to be honest here, I'm not even sure if it's like too soon to start talking about these sort of things, or if it's too soon to, for Marvel to be making plans like this. But of course, if they are not going to recast T'Challa, and if Chadwick's character of T'Challa is going to be killed off in the movie, and they are developing the show right now while he's also developing the film, we also know that Feige really likes taking these shows and tying them directly into MCU movies. Right now, we think that the Secret Invasion show, which will have Nick Fury, is going to directly tie right into Captain Marvel 2, which will also cover Secret Invasion. A sort of 1-2 punch, starting on Disney Plus, ending off in the theater sort of situation. Well, what if they did the reverse with Black Panther 2, and they do the film, and at the end of the film, there is no king of Wakanda, or there's a new king and there's all this strife or something like that. Chadwick is gone, T'Challa is gone. Well, what if the show that he's developing right now, this drama in Wakanda, focuses on the death of the king, focuses on the new king, focuses on the new Wakanda, and that's sort of an idea. So again, I don't even know if it's too soon. I apologize if that's like triggering for you or whatever, but these are just ideas I have, just one man on the internet speculating about what the show could be.
Yeah, we don't really need to start a conversation.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about the MCU and let's talk about Wakanda in general. The big elephant in the room is, what are they going to do with the T'Challa character? I am personally still of the mind that they should recast. It doesn't seem like they're going to. It seems almost a moot point to bring up, but I just wanted to say it. I'm a big fan of T'Challa from the comics. Love the character. I am bummed that we're not going to get some of the very dope comic book moments that T'Challa has had on the silver screen. We're not going to get to see Chadwick or any live action version of that character do some of the things that that character did in the comics that I absolutely loved. And so that's a bummer for me. And of course, the question on everybody's mind and sort of the speculation out there on the internet is, what are they going to do about this? And a lot of people believe Shuri, Letitia Wright's Shuri character, will take the place of T'Challa. She will be the new Black Panther. And I gotta be honest, I think Letitia's dope, but I'm just not super sold on that idea personally. I know some fans really like that idea. For me personally, I'm like, I don't know, man. She doesn't seem like a warrior. I would need to see her go on an arc where she maybe loses her brother, becomes super focused, puts her, mind, her incredible mind, to use more like Batman. And then if there was like an arc there, then I could buy it. But, look, to be the Black Panther is to be a warrior. To be a king is totally different. Shuri could become king or queen, and there could be a different Black Panther. Technically, there was a king while T'Challa was Black Panther. It was his father. His father had passed on the Black Panther battle, but was still king. It's a very interesting dynamic, okay? So you could have something like that happen. Some people think M'Baku could come back and be the Black Panther. That would be cool. I think Winston Duke is a great actor. But my personal choice, and I talked about this on the morning stream earlier, my personal choice is doing Eric Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan as Black Panther. And you might be like, what? How's that possible? He's not only dead, he's a super big butthole.
Nah.
But that's only the version from our universe. And you see, Kevin Feige has opened up the multiverse. And what I would do in my fanboy hope, and I'm putting this out there into the universe with the hopes that Feige's going to see this video and be like, you know what, that's a pretty good idea. And then call Ryan and tell him, because here is the deal. What you do is you set up an alternate universe version where in that universe, the Eric Killmonger character, his father didn't screw up as badly or was forgiven. He was raised with T'Challa. They were the best of friends. That Eric loved T'Challa, which, by the way, that T'Challa would look just like Chad, just to make the whole thing work. And then he would absolutely love Chadwick as Black Panther, but then his T'Challa would die as well. But maybe his T'Challa was never the Black Panther. Maybe Eric was the Black Panther, and maybe T'Challa was king in that multiverse. Regardless, that way you have an Eric Killmonger that is like a more good-hearted version of the character that absolutely loved T'Challa. And you could bring that character into our universe and make him the new king of Wakanda, or at least have that character established so that you can have a Black Panther in the MCU, because I think you need a Black Panther. I think that role is important. You need toys, you need merchandise, you need people to be pumped about the Black Panther. Plus, again, as I've said, he does some incredible things in the comics. What a waste if we don't get some of those things in the movies with an actual live action actor. But again, guys, that's like a lot of speculation when really the only news coming out of Deadline is that he's got this 5-year deal. It's gonna be a show in Wakanda, but you know, there's a lot of sort of context clues. You know, I just can't help myself and have to speculate. So I hope you don't mind. And of course, let us know what you think about this story and the speculation. Make sure you go check out the live streaming channel. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. And as I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.